going on, Dolphins? It's your boy Dillon, and I am back again today with another episode for you. Today is, I don't know, I'm losing track of the days. It's like day 11 or something of training camp, somewhere around there. And we got only a couple days left until our first preseason game, so I got a bunch of stuff for you. Some news and notes and stuff like that, and then I'm going to have an interview at the end for you with Coach Gase. Alright, so let's see. First thing I got for you is an article from Bleacher Report, and it is predicting every NFL team's next big thing. So for us, they have Charles Harris, defensive end. Miami Dolphins defensive end Charles Harris was eased in as a rookie in 2017, but the first-round pick out of Missouri excelled when his role increased in December. According to Pro Football Focus, Harris recorded a team-high 8 quarterback pressures on 27 pass rushing snaps in a Week 15 loss to the Bills, and he recorded a sack and the third-best defensive Pro Football Focus grade on the team 1 week later against the Chiefs. Importantly, it seems as though he carried that into 2018. I actually think Charles Harris has probably had the best offseason of anybody on our team, veteran defensive end Cameron Wake said last week, per Stephen Wine of the Associated Press. He came back in tremendous shape. He has obviously been working on his strength. He has been working on his football. I think that's definitely going to pay off when it comes time to put in the live bullets and get after the quarterback. The 23-year-old is still jockeying for playing time with several experienced edge rushers, but he'll eventually take off and become a big thing in Miami. I couldn't agree with that more. I think he's going to have a good year, a big year. Okay, so from Dolphins Wire, Dolphins defense dominates on day 11 of training camp. The Dolphins defense has frustrated their offense during the first 2 weeks of training camp. Tuesday's practice wasn't any different as the Dolphins offense struggled to find the end zone. The Dolphins offensive line gave up a number of sacks, including 2 to defensive end Cameron Wake. Gabe Wright, Andre Branch, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Devon Godshaw also recorded sacks against the Dolphins offensive line. Safety TJ McDonald brought down an interception in the end zone on a pass from Brock Osweiler. Also on a swing pass out of the backfield, Dolphins linebacker Casey Collins blasted running back Sonoris Perry near the sideline. The Dolphins' defensive line dominating their offensive line has been a theme of training camp during the last 2 weeks. Either the Dolphins' defensive line, which recorded only 30 sacks last season, has improved, or the team should be worried about the play of their offensive line heading into the preseason opener against the Buccaneers on Thursday night. Here's some other news and notes from Tuesday's practice. Real quick before I get to that, I want to comment on that and say, yes, the theme does seem to be that the defense is winning out in training camp, which I personally think is good news from the perspective of that, you know, they're getting better. They should be better than last year. The guys that we brought in with the way that we're going to rotate guys, keeping them fresh and all that stuff, I think is going to help tremendously. And I think they're going to, you know, far exceed what they did last year and vastly improve. Having said that, this theme, keep in mind, goes across the entire team. So that's not just first team offense and defense, that's second and third team guys as well. So, you know, that means the struggles going on for the offense includes, you know, backup quarterbacks, Fales and Osweiler and Petty. And then it also includes, you know, backup offensive linemen and, you know, blah, 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 various things. So don't read too much in it or into it. You know, I definitely want to bring you guys all this information and stuff, but I don't want people to get, you know, too crazy over things that are going on in the preseason. It's too early. We have to wait. We need to get some games in, and, you know, not even just the preseason games. I mean, frankly, we won't really know until, you know, the start of the regular season and we start seeing how our team performs. Obviously, we can get a lot of information and get a feel for the team up till then, but for the most part, it's just trying to figure out what the team is actually going to look like. So, having said that, tight end Mike Gesicki continues to shine during red zone drills. During a drill against Fitzpatrick, Gesicki used his height and body to jump over the safety and pull down the ball. Entering their game against the Buccaneers on Thursday, it will be interesting to see how many snaps Gesicki gets. Tony Lippett returned to the field following an apparent right foot injury. He did not practice or participate in drills following his injury. Head coach Adam Gase said Lippett was being further evaluated to see how severe the injury might be. Kicker Jason Sanders converted a 59-yard field goal with room to spare. He made 7 of his 8 attempts on Tuesday. Defensive end William Hayes and center Jake Brendel missed practice again on Tuesday. They were the only 2 players not to practice at all. Newly signed running back Jeremy Langford practiced on Tuesday as he is wearing the number 42. After Thursday's game, the Dolphins will return to practice field Sunday, October 12th. The final day of training camp will be on Tuesday, August 14th. So today should be the last day of practice. They should have tomorrow off, preseason game Thursday, and then I guess they won't be back to the practice field until Sunday, and then probably Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday will be the final days of training camp, and then obviously we'll have another preseason game that week, and then 2 more preseason games. You know, there'll be some practices and stuff obviously that lead up to those preseason games, but that should be about it. Okay. So, and then obviously we're going to start pushing towards the regular season. All right, so here's a Bleacher Report article, the NFL Power Rankings by Bleacher Report. So I'll read through them all just so you can, and then I'll read the little caption or the description for our team. So 32, they have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 31 is the New York Jets. They have us tied for 29th. It goes from 31 to 29th. So us and the Cardinals are tied for 29th. So here's what they say. It's put up or shut up time for Miami Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill. After missing the 2017 season with an ACL tear, Tannehill's career is at a crossroads. If the 30-year-old struggles or gets injured again, it's likely the Dolphins will look to draft his replacement. The results just haven't matched Tannehill's robust salary. For his part, Tannehill told Adam Beasley of the Miami Herald he feels younger. I feel great, Tannehill said. I feel great. I was telling somebody the other day, I feel like I'm 25, but 30 just sounds old. The biggest problem Tannehill will face has to do with the passing game. With Jarvis Landry gone, Tannehill's targets aren't imposing. Jesus Christ. The defense has issues at linebacker and up front after the Dolphins moved on from Ndamukong Suh this offseason. If the Dolphins are going to make noise in the AFC East, Tannehill's going to have to stand on his head. See, I'm sorry, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Of course, Tannehill needs to play really well. Of course, he needs to get back to his 2016 form and better. Of course, there's a lot of, criticism and judgment going on about Tannehill and that, he really does need to live up to his potential and stuff like that. Sure, got it. But clearly, all they're doing again, and this article is just focusing on, oh, we lost Jarvis Landry. Oh, we lost Ndamukong Suh. Clearly, they're not paying attention to what's going on in training camp right now because our defense is winning almost every fucking training camp battle up to this point. So our defense doesn't seem to really have that big of an issue without Ndamukong Suh, and the linebackers aren't doing that bad. They're actually doing pretty well overall, so I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And Jarvis Landry being gone, clearly they don't fucking know that Amendola has already replaced him as Ryan Tannehill's, blanket as far as the wide receivers go. Safety blanket as far as the wide receivers go. So it's just, the shit they gotta say is just kind of ridiculous. Alright, then they put the Browns at 28. So the Browns are ahead of us. This is crazy. And then the Colts are above us at 27. 26 is Buffalo. 25 is Cincy. The Bengals. 24 is the Raiders. 23 is the Redskins. 22 is the Seahawks. 21 is the Ravens. 20 is the Bears. 19 is the Giants. 18 is the Broncos. 17 the Lions. 16 Niners. Tied for 14th is Texans and Cowboys. 13 is Panthers. 12 is Chiefs. 11 is Titans. 10 is Chargers, 9 is Packers, 8 is Jags, 7 is Falcons, 6 is Steelers, 5 is Patriots, that's interesting, 4 is Saints, tied for second is Eagles and Rams, and first is the Vikings. I don't know. Bleacher Report's all over the fucking place with this shit, but whatever. Anyway, so getting into some stuff from practice and whatever. From Chris Perkins, Tannehill to Parker on slant, Osweiler in completion to Wilson in end zone. First team O-line and wide receivers still on field. Chris Perkins, Osweiler sacked by Rashad Jones. Play ends with TJ McDonald, interception in end zone. That won't count. See, I mean, that's all stuff that's going on with, like, second team shit and everything like that. Chris Perkins, Osweiler in completion, might have been sacked by Branch. Pocket was collapsing. Chris Perkins fails to Drew Morgan. Touchdown. Fails to Smythe. Touchdown. Reserve offense showing signs of life versus reserve defense. Omar Kelly, David fails with a touchdown pass to Durham Smythe during goal line work. Fails is efficient. Chris Perkins, Perry left for no gain. Running game experiencing tough sledding today in half pads with no tackling. Chris Perkins, 11 on 11, ones versus ones. Offense at own 38. Figured Tannehill would go Stills versus Tank, and he did for maybe 5-yard gain. Chris Perkins, Tannehill in completion, had Gray open but threw behind him on maybe 6-yard route over middle. Adam Beasley, Cam Wake had a clear shot at Tannehill. This is a bad day for the offense. Chris Perkins, Tannehill sacked by Branch. Believe that's Branch's second sack today, and he was almost held by James. Omar Kelly, Jordan Phillips blows up a Kalen Ballage run in the backfield. Chris Perkins, Ballage blown up in the backfield. Armando Salguero, retribution, here it is. First round pick, Minka Fitzpatrick blitzes. Second round pick, Mike Gesicki doesn't recognize the blitz and fails to block. Fitzpatrick sack. Chris Perkins, Tannehill to Stills over middle for maybe 8-yard gain. Now Tannehill sack. DT, defensive tackle Taylor and right guard Davis tangle for a second and then get separated. No biggie. Omar Kelly, Jesse Davis, and Vincent Taylor got into a fight. Davis took his helmet off to fight. Why would you do that? Hey man, maybe he's fucking roughshod and wants to get down and dirty. Anyway, Joe Shad, and here's the dilemma. Mike Gesicki beside himself after missing block on Minka Fitzpatrick that leads to potential RT-17 mauling. Omar Kelly, on behalf of the people with eyeballs, I'd like to apologize for the Dolphins fans who attended today's practice. You deserve a better offense. Omar Kelly just talks so much shit, man. He annoys me. He really does. Adam Beasley, Gesicki totally whiffs on a blitz by Minka, who would have had a blindside KO on Tannehill. Look, he talks about being just like real and honest and shit, but he goes a little overboard with it, man. I mean, you can calm down, fucking Omar. That motherfucker's annoying. Anyway, Chris Perkins, guessing ankle Amit, keeping lipid on sideline. Haven't noticed him with 2s or 3s in 11 on 11. Chris Perkins, pre-snap penalty, offside defensive tackle Moten. Phins actually have been better last 2 days on penalties after Saturday's regrettable scrimmage. Chris Perkins, have no feel for linebacker Jerome Baker. Notice him every now and then, but haven't recalled many first-team snaps or memorable plays. Adam Beasley, William Hayes seems to be moving around well without a sleeve on his injured hamstring. Jason Lieser, Dolphins wide receiver Isaiah Ford, shoulder, expects to play Thursday versus Tampa Bay. Will be his first game since 2016 Belk Bowl with Virginia Tech. Chris Perkins, let's see. Joe Shad, Devontae Parker, and Torrey McTyer working together on a side field well after practice, working on releases and escaping holds. That's good. It's good. Omar Kelly, okay, so it's going to get a little bit into some of Adam Gase's press conference. Omar Kelly, know your assignment, know your role, go out and make plays, Mike Gesicki said, referring to earning the trust of his coaches and teammates. That was from Mike Gesicki, actually. Omar Kelly, top performers for Dolphins practice 11. 1, D-end Cameron Wake, 2 sacks. 2, safety TJ McDonald, end zone interception. 3, guard Ted Larson, respectable day with starters. Omar Kelly, we felt like we needed a bit of depth for the preseason games, Gase said, explaining the Jeremy Langford signing. Adam Beasley, Gase said the Dolphins signed Langford because they needed another body at that position. Joe Shad, Jeremy Langford was added for depth for preseason. Adam Gase says is another body. Omar Kelly, learning, it's a lot. Gase said of Kalen Ballage's process. He said the quarterbacks have to slow it down for Ballage a bit. Adam Beasley, Gase said he's comfortable with where his offense is at this stage. Omar Kelly, a lot of times in training camp it swings like that. You see the jostling back and forth. Gase said the fact we're competing and battling is a good thing. Omar Kelly, Adam Gase said he's not comfortable with where his offense is. Armando Salguero, Adam Gase said he's satisfied by progress of the offense so far. See, Omar Kelly, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He says Adam Gase says he's not comfortable, but everybody else is saying that he did say he's comfortable, and you'll get the video for yourself. So, Armando Salguero, Adam Gase says Dolphins-style defense is what he was raised with. Says Quinn comfortable with hand in the dirt, doesn't have to worry about coverage and dropping, which he had to do with Rams last season. Armando Salguero, Adam Gase on offense, I'm good with what's going on. Omar Kelly, he doesn't get hung up on one bad play, he moved on quickly. Adam Gase said of Mike Gesicki. Omar Kelly, Adam Gase said winning comes down to turnover margin. He said last year's turnovers were ridiculous. Defense has to take the ball away and offense has to take care of the ball. Joe Shad has Brock Osweiler really had a tremendous camp. He's a positive guy, Adam Gase said. Armando Salguero, Adam Gase says Brock Osweiler goes to practice with a purpose. That's next level stuff. Joe Shad, Adam Gase wants David Fales and Brock Osweiler to have an equal time with 2s and 3s in preseason. Omar Kelly, Adam Gase says he's not going to rotate the quarterbacks because he wants each guy to get into a rhythm. Omar Kelly, I'm not instructing anybody to do anything. Adam Gase says of his instructions for the national anthem. Armando Salguero, Adam Gase says he will give no instructions on how to handle national anthem Thursday's preseason opener. Jason Lazar, Adam Gase says he will not give Dolphins players an instruction regarding national anthem. Joe Shad, Adam Gase says he will not give his... Okay. Let's see. Joe Shad, Ryan Tannehill wants to play some Thursday for Miami Dolphins versus Tampa Bay. Armando Salguero, Tony Lippett is being evaluated as per Gase. Omar Kelly, talked to someone else. I'm coaching football. I'm not dealing with this. Dolphins coach Adam Gase said when asked about prospects of players kneeling. Adam Beasley, Gase said the Dolphins collecting more information on Lippett. Said he looked irritated. Adam Beasley, Adam Gase said hates questions about national anthem. Yeah, fuck that shit, man. It's just a distraction. Shut the fuck up with it. Alright, here's an article by Around the NFL. Real quick, it is Mike Gesicki, hype train picking up steam in Miami. The Dolphins are counting on Ryan Tannehill to return under center from wire to wire and flip the switch for Miami. The emergence of Mike Gesicki should help. The second-round tight end was listed 5th on Miami's initial depth chart, but we already know Coach Adam Gase enjoys toying with the pecking order released to media, just to be an asshole, in quotes. Because that's what he says. According to scribes on hand at camp, Gesicki is playing more like a week 1 starter than a clipboard holder tucked away in the shadows. Over the past week, the 6'6", 245-pound Penn State star has been crowed about as emerging as an athletic big target for Tannehill per FloridaFootballInsiders.com, especially in the red zone. He's hungry to learn, Tannehill told USA Today of Gesicki. He has incredible range, and that's one thing that struck me from him so far is just his range. If you put a ball... He has a huge radius. He's got a huge catch radius. If you put a ball anywhere near him, he has the ability to either jump and get it or reach out and get it. One way or the other, he's going to get his hands on it. That's been very impressive so far. Tuesday's practice highlighted Gesicki's intriguing potential. From Joe Shad, wow, Mike Gesicki just used excellent body positioning, body control, spatial awareness, and hands to go high and beat Minkah Fitzpatrick on red zone touchdown. Also, one lingering known concern about his development as a pass blocker. From Joe Shad, and here's the dilemma. Mike Gesicki beside himself after missing block on Minkah Fitzpatrick that leads to potential RT-17 mauling. He'll get it, man. He'll get it. He wasn't used a lot like that in Penn State, but he'll learn it. I'm not worried about it. He has the willingness. He's got the frame and the body, so it'll come. As long as he can keep improving on that and be what we need him to be in the passing game. Still, the upside has been on display throughout camp, with the rookie logging a practice over the weekend that saw him inhale 4 touchdowns from Tannehill in a single session. I think once we hit the red area period, I think it was that 3rd or 4th day of camp, you could see Mike started really feeling comfortable, Gase said. I think we've had more success on the field on 3rd downs and in the red area with Gesicki and Tannehill developing some chemistry. The next step is pulling that off against live opponents, but Gesicki's ability to get open and give Tannehill windows is encouraging in any setting. The Dolphins are often dismissed based on their recent history as a milquetoast, low-stake entry inside a division dominated by a Patriots team playing the role of Skeletor giggling away up in Castle Grayskull. Interesting. Miami needs Gesicki, maybe 20 Gesickis to shift the tide, but chalk it up as a promising development for an offense that feels poised to surprise the doubters. Bet. Get it, son. Watch. Don't fucking play. We're getting it. We're getting it. We're getting it. Here's a Palm Beach article from Joe Shedd. How the Miami Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki is trying to earn Adam Gase's trust. The temptation is going to be there for Adam Gase, as it would be for any coach. Mike Gesicki is not Julius Thomas, he's not Jordan Cameron, and instead he's an actual vertical seam, red zone, all-around offensive threat. But what if he misses a block? What if he misses a key block and Ryan Tannehill goes down and the Miami Dolphins season is over before it begins? You want to earn the trust of people, Gesicki said Tuesday. You just have to go out and do the right things. Gesicki wants to do the right things, and sometimes it looks oh so good. Gase is going to have to decide how to play Gesicki and when to play Gesicki, and yes, how much to trust Gesicki, a rookie, not to screw up. You want to start off with, do they know what to do, Gase said Tuesday, and are they trying to use the right technique? And then it's, can you do it or not? I think that's where our adjustments have to come in as coaches, to where if a guy can't do a certain thing, let's not ask him to do a thing he's really going to have problems with. Rookies. Gesicki was drafted in the second round because he's 6'6" and 245 pounds, and he jumps through the roof and into the sky. And well, sometimes it looks like he could continue right onto outer space. The dilemma was fully presented in a brief portion of the 11-11 Dolphins training camp practice on Tuesday. There was Gesicki leaping high into the sky, contorting his body, using it as a shield, showing great hands, and coming down with a touchdown pass over classmate Minkah Fitzpatrick. I know the highest point I can get it at is higher than anybody else on the field, Gesicki, the former volleyballer, said. So if it's up there high enough anybody else can, that's my mindset. A lot of people call it 50-50 balls, but for me, it's all or nothing. It's 100%. It's me or nobody. The Jersey swag. He's from Jersey. He's got swag. But every now and then he's exposed as a rook. The Dolphins defensive coordinator Matt Burke blitzes Gesicki in practice a lot. They're hoping it will help. They're hoping he'll improve. But he was drafted to catch touchdowns, but what if he can't block? A few plays later, the problem. Gesicki is left holding his hands on his helmet because he missed a blitzing Fitzpatrick, payback's a bleep, payback's a bitch, and Ryan Tannehill would have been crushed. The preseason hasn't even started yet. Can Gase trust Gesicki makes the play in the season opener against the blitzing Titan safety? I'm trying to make my weaknesses my strengths too, Gesicki said. Gase knows he needs to score more in 2018. Gase knows Ryan Tannehill hasn't had a tight end with Gesicki's skills since, well, maybe ever. Gase also knows it's a safer play to have savvy veteran Marquise Gray on the field all the time. It's probably a safer play to have A.J. Derby on the field, and it may even be a safer play to have rookie tight end Durham Smythe, a blocking specialist, on the field instead of Gesicki. But oh, that temptation. What would Gase trust rookie running back Kalen Ballage if there was an unfortunate injury to Kenyon Drake or Frank Gore? Would Gase trust rookie linebacker Jerome Baker if something were to happen to Kiko Alonso? Would Gase actually trust a rookie kicker with the game tied in overtime? He may have to if that's what special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi highly recommends. Would Ballage miss a block? Drake is a much better blocker now than he was a rookie. Why? He knows what to do, and he knows he can do it better. I think it comes down to the reps in practice, Gase said, plus the preseason games. Keep evaluating. We might end up crossing things off the list eventually. We want to get more into games. Gesicki is a willing blocker. Everyone knows that's not what he was brought here to do, but there are going to be times where the defense shifts in such a way that he has no choice but to go mano a mano. Gesicki is a strong dude. He wants to be physical. He wants to do a good enough job. He'll do everything he can to keep Tannehill from being destroyed, but he might not be able to help it. He's a rook. He has this preseason to prove to Gase and his teammates that yes, he can be trusted to be on the field all the time. Know your assignment, Gesicki said. Know your role, be accountable, and just go out and make plays when it's your time. When the ball's in the air, go make the play. When it's your block, go make the block. Whatever it is, if I'm running down on a kickoff, if I'm on kickoff return, wing on field goal, or catch a touchdown. When I first got here, my mindset was don't make a mistake, and now it's just go do what I do and go make plays. He'll be fine, man. He's gonna make his mistakes. You know, he's gonna have some struggles. He's gonna have some, a learning curve. And, we'll just see, man. All right. Here's a Palm Beach Post article. Dolphins head into preseason opener with no national anthem policy. The Miami Dolphins have been among the most prominent teams in the NFL's controversy over players protesting racial inequality by demonstrating during the national anthem, and that story will continue in Thursday's preseason opener against Tampa Bay. The league laid down a policy in the spring that requires players to stand for the anthem or remain in the locker room off the field, but those rules are suspended while the NFL and the Players Union continue working toward a solution that satisfies both sides. That means there would be no league discipline if any players demonstrate Thursday night at Hard Rock Stadium. Dolphins coach Adam Gase, who is frustrated about being caught between having to follow the owner's rules and managing his players, isn't going to discuss the issue with the team. It's not instructing anybody. I'm not instructing anybody for anything, he said. Gase was asked what he'll do if a player kneels and replied, "Talk to somebody else about it. I'm coaching football. I'm not dealing with all this." Miami has two players who have protested in defensive end Robert Quinn and wide receiver Kenny Stills. Quinn raised a fist during the anthem while playing for the Rams last year. Stills has been kneeling since Colin Kaepernick started the player protest movement in the 2016 season. Quinn said he had no idea what the NFL's expectations are for players at this point or whether it's possible to be disciplined for it in the preseason. He has not had any conversations with teammates or Dolphins management about the issue. When asked what he planned to do during Thursday's anthem, Quinn said, "Have my free speech." He did not specify whether that meant he would continue raising a fist. "I've got my right to free speech," he said. "That's all." The Dolphins said Stills, one of the most media-friendly players on the team, would not be speaking to reporters after this morning's practice. Stills has disagreed with the league's stance on player protests since the beginning and was unhappy when owners passed the latest rules without any input from players. He advocated for the league leaving the anthem unregulated. "Obviously, I'd like to see there be no policy at all, and the guys have a choice to go out there and do what they want to, and we can support each other and the decisions we want to make," he said last month. I say do it, bruh. Go out there and fucking stand up for what's right, man. Stand up for fucking... Fuck anybody who sits there and wants to try and say that the players shouldn't be able to protest. Look, man, fuck this whole narrative that it's against the American way. Are you fucking kidding me? That is exactly the American way. To be able to stand up, protest, and say, you know, this shit is not fucking right, and, you know, it needs to fucking change. It's absolutely ludicrous. It blows my mind, right? Donald Trump, our president, wants people to protest the protesters. How much fucking sense does that make? Like, come on, people, really? We're gonna protest people protesting? So it's okay for, you know, all these other people, you know, to protest, right? It's free speech then. You know, they can when they're you know, when they're hating on these people, when they're calling them derogatory things and being, you know, racist, because it's a lot of black people, it's mostly black people, right, in this movement, you know, they're sitting there being fucking racist, calling them all kinds of shit, being negative as fuck, and then, you know, it's okay then, right? But it's not okay for them to stand up against, you know, social injustices, you know, all the fucking shootings of unarmed black people and stuff like that. Come on, man. That's fucking hypocrisy at its finest, to say the least, and it's just total bullshit. So get the fuck over it. If I'm sorry, but if I don't mean any offense to anybody, but if anybody who's watching this has a fucking problem with it, grow the fuck up, you know, stop being a petty little fucking child. That is what our goddamn Constitution gives us. Our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution and the Bill of Rights, all that shit, it gives us the freedoms to stand up and say, hey, there are some fucking wrong things going on right now. We need to bring attention to it and we need to change it. Anywho, so I'm going to move on. From Dolphins.com, John Congemi's 3 takeaways from... oh, no, wait, never mind. That's old, so never mind. I already did that. Disregard. All right, well, so that's it. That's going to be the end of the show. I guess I'll fucking end it there on the whole national anthem thing. But anyway, we have a preseason game in a couple days, guys. I'm going to have the Adam Gase interview at the end of this. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And it seems like Mike Gesicki may have spoke as well. So if I can get that video for you, then I definitely will. But on that note, guys, I hope you enjoy the videos, and I'll see you soon. Fins up.
How was practice today? It seems like the defense had the upper hand there.
Oh yeah, practice was definitely competitive today. Boys, definitely by the edge today. We started off a little slow yesterday, but we picked it up today.
What's that competition like, especially getting close to here, the first preseason game? I mean, I'm sure you guys are ready to to get it going here?
I mean, it's tight. It's tight all over the place, but I mean, you know, we just out here getting better. You know, we just want to go out here and grind and just prepare for this preseason game.
Do you feel it's obviously you're on your game every practice, but is it even heightened more on days that you're with the ones because it's not every day?
No, you know, whether I'm going with the ones or the twos, I still have to just go out and prepare. It don't matter who my opponent is. I just have to go and compete and just show I belong out here.
What's the area that you want to improve on during this exhibition season?
Just being consistent, you know, and just trying to be that elite corner that I know I could be, and just being competitive each and every day.
When you do go with the ones, though, everybody's pretty much, you know, on point, right? I mean, it's not like you're worried about what the other guy's going to do.
Oh, no, man. If you're going with the ones, you're going with the ones for a reason, because you know what you're doing, you know you play ball. They're not just going to throw anybody out there. So obviously it's deserved reps. So like I said, but it don't matter where we're playing at. We just want to go out there and compete.
What's it going to be like to finally get out there and play somebody other than your own team?
We finally get to hit somebody else. Like we've been waiting almost a whole year for this opportunity to go out there and compete.
How would you describe your overall goal for the preseason?
I just want to get better, you know, just to show these coaches that hey, we belong here, I belong here, and that we're ready to take the next step.
Is it an extra challenge to pace yourself in a preseason game? You know, you only get a certain amount of time out there. Do you have to sort of, find a way to pace yourself and not try to do too much?
I feel you just give 100% no matter what you're doing, whether you're covering the kick, playing defense. You just go out there and show these coaches, because every day is an interview. So you just got to go out there and compete. You know, how many steps, whether it's 10 or 50, you just got to go out there and give 110%.
Is there something that the new defensive backs coach and cornerbacks coach have been sort of specifically working with you on, stressing with you since they got here?
Just basically reading our keys and just try to slow the game down. You know, sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves, but we just want to slow everything down so we can play fast.
Could you describe what it feels like when the ball is going to be high in the air and you know you have a chance to jump up and catch a touchdown in the end zone? How would you describe what goes through your mind and the emotions?
Honestly, I mean, when the ball's in the air, that is all I'm focused on. I'm not thinking about anything else besides going up and getting the ball at its highest point, because I know that the highest point that I get it at is higher than anybody else on the field. So if it's up there high enough and I can go get it, nobody else is going to be able to get up there. So that's kind of my mindset. A lot of people call it, like 50-50 balls, but I mean, for me, when the ball's in the air, I mean, it's all or nothing. It's 100%. It's me or nobody. So.
What about when you catch a touchdown in a game? Thinking back to all those touchdowns you caught in your last stop, what is that like?
Oh, that's why you put in all this work. That's why you stay after practice and you make these catches, and you go out here and you work hard each and every day for moments like that. It's this way when that opportunity comes and your number gets called, you go out and make the play.
I know you've been rotating, and people have been rotating, but when you're in there with the ones, is there a different feeling, man, just being out there and looking around, seeing?
I mean, there's definitely a sense of urgency. That you're with guys that have been doing it for many, many years, and they got a bunch of years under their belt, a lot of experience, and so I mean, there's not a lot of room for error. There's not a lot of room for thinking or for overthinking anything. It's just listen to the call, get the call, line up, and just go play and do what you do.
You don't get that sense of don't screw this up? Is that the first
When I first got here, I mean, that was kind of my mindset. It was don't make a mistake, and now it's just just go do what I do and just go make plays, because that's what I'm here to do.
Speaking of that, how much more confident are you heading into this game now than 11 days ago?
Yeah,
what have
absolutely.
done for you?
I think that the more reps that you get each and every day, and the more installs that we have, and the more plays that have come in, it's definitely taking another step up in terms of challenging and all that kind of stuff. But I think that not only myself but everybody's handled that really well, and have been studying the playbooks and gotten out here, and for the most part been right on their assignment.
Were those fresh gloves for the jugs? You figured that one out already, or what?
I bring 2 pairs of gloves out here because I mean it's so hot. My shoes are soaked. I should start bringing out 2 pairs of cleats. So I bring out 2 pairs of gloves and I switch about halfway through.
What do you think is the best way for any rookie to gain the trust of the coaching staff before the regular season?
Just know your assignment, know your role, be accountable, and just go out and make plays when it's your time. When the ball's in the air, go make the play. When it's your block, go make the block. Whatever it is. If I'm running down on kickoff, if I'm on kickoff return, if I'm on the wing on field goal, or if I got to go catch a touchdown. I mean, whatever it is, if you want to earn trust in people, you just got to go out and do the right things.
As far as football goes, I mean, how good is it to go out there now on Thursday and face someone other than your own teammates, see another colored uniform on the other side?
It'd be a great feeling. I mean, like you said, we've been here going against our teammates for a week or 2 weeks, however it's been. And, as fun as it is to get back to playing football, it's a lot more fun to actually play some games. So, and to get our mind off the kind of the camp mode. So I think that'll be the great thing, just to get back to actually reap some benefits of the hard work we've been doing.
What's the phenomenon like the preseason game? Because it's a game, but it's kind of also a very unique game. It's not really a game. The final score doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
Even though the score may not, it does matter because regardless you want to win. But anytime you're on the field, you got to put out good film. No matter who you are, how many plays you get, you got to put out good film. You can't have no made-up excuses of why you didn't play well because you can't say because it's the preseason. You are who you're going to be, no matter if it's preseason or the Super Bowl. So, I just think with the preseason, you just got to prepare like you're going to play in the regular season. That's all.
Robert, for somebody who's been around for a while like you have, what are you looking to get out of the preseason?
Well, making sure get off on the ball fast, like any D lineman wants to. Working my hands, just basic D line stuff, but get it at a game speed. Because we can practice fast as ever out here, but it's nothing like a game. So it's more just getting that game reality, game speed back underneath my belt, and see if I got everything clicking again.
Saw you interact with that high school kid. What happened? He was going to block you or something?
Well, yeah, he said he called me out on one-on-one, so I tried to give him some pads, but our O-line, he ain't want to. He tried to save me from what he told me, so he kept the pads from young buddy.
So I like a lot of the things that we've done so far have been positive. I do think we have a lot of options. It feels that way. It's almost like, who do you want to get the ball to, especially with the running backs. I think they do a good job they get downhill fast and get low, and Frank had a couple good runs the other day to where he kind of squeaks through some holes, and Kenyon, same thing. I think he got the edge a couple times. So effective running game down there is always a positive because you keep yourself 3rd and short. The last thing you want to do is get 3rd and 8 from the 16. There's just not a lot of options.
You guys have had some good days on offense and not so good days on offense. At what point do you want to see that consistency day in, day out?
I think a lot of times in training camp it swings like that because if one side has a good day, the other side probably didn't have as good of a day. And you see, that jostling of just back and forth. I think anytime that if we would see like 3 or 4 straight days of one side dominating the other side, there's going to be concern probably on my part more than anybody because I got to look at big picture. So the fact that we're they're competing and battling every day, that's a good thing.
Are you comfortable with where your offense is at this stage?
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about the position change with Robert Quinn as far as why it would matter so much to have him up at defensive end as opposed to there was another NFL team that obviously thought he could do just fine at outside linebacker, but clearly he's more comfortable in this spot. Can you just teach a little bit about that here?
I think this defense is really what he was raised in. I guess that's the best way to put it, where he came in the league and this is what he did. This is what he did in college. And, when you switch to a 3-4 defense, there's some more mechanics that go along with that. When all of a sudden now you're standing up, I do think he's comfortable, having his hand in the dirt. And, I think he did a good job last year. I just don't think he was comfortable doing that. Sometimes guys have a certain ability to get off the ball a certain way. Cam's stance might be a little different than his, but they're successful doing it. And I think he doesn't have to worry about coverage and, dropping and, things like that. That's a different role for him if he has to do that. And he was asked to do that a little bit last year.
Outside of the comfort level that everybody should have in this offense, considering very few people are new, why do you think that this offense should be getting to the next level?
Well, I like the chemistry that they're developing. I like that the skilled guys seem to be working together with the quarterback. It's not like we got one guy out there and two other guys are in the locker. They're all working together. They're all trying to help each other. And I do think Ryan understands about spreading the ball out and making sure we're using everybody that's involved in the offense. And that's really key when the defense has to make sure they account for every guy that's on the field. That causes them problems. And that's what opens up your running game. You know, you got 5 guys on offense that are threats in the passing game. Now all of a sudden, hey, we got to play some kind of cover 2 look or middle field open, and now you got a better chance, you got a better box to run the ball. And I think it's just really that chemistry of the group is good. It's good right now, and these guys are working together.
What has led to your discomfort so right now? Is it just high expectations, or?
I don't think I'm good with what's going on. I like the direction we're heading. And really it's going to be about what are we doing preseason games? How are we going to come together, you know, as we go? How are we going to handle any kind of adversity? You know, are guys ready to step up? Sometimes in practice, it's less pressure. And all of a sudden you get a game, it's one mistake can cost, the whole team the game. And guys working for that perfection part of it.
You saw Gesicki make a great jumping catch, but also maybe miss a block. It looked like he was mad at himself on one play. As a coach, how do you process, manage, and eventually make game day decisions when we get there, not preseason but regular season, about how much to trust inexperienced or rookie players?
I think it comes down to putting all the reps set in practice together plus the preseason games, and just really you want to start off with, do they know what to do? Are they trying to use the right technique? And then at the end of the day, can you do it or not? And I think that's where our adjustments have to come in as coaches, to where if a guy can't do a certain thing, let's not ask him to do something that he's going to really have problems with. And really that's where we're at as a coaching staff, of keep evaluating, and we might start crossing things off the list eventually. I think we want to get into games more before we do that, though.
Do you have guys blitz him when he's out there? Or
Yeah.
Work?
Yeah, I mean they went through a whole period today where they did pass protection. Today we didn't have as many plays, but there was more runs called, and there was some of our 2-minute stuff where we end up going 7-man protections where he has to stay in, and he's got some one-on-one situations. Those are good for him, and every time he has trouble with a guy, we can learn off of that. And he does a good job. He doesn't get hung up on one bad play. He moves on to the next one very quickly.
What would you like to see from first-team offense in the first preseason game?
We all want to think the same thing. You're hoping for a nice 10-play touchdown drive. I don't know how many of those I've had in my career. It never goes exactly as you want it.
So, can you go into a season? Can you go into a season with baseline stats for a quarterback for you to make the playoffs? Say 30 touchdowns or fewer than 10 interceptions?
No.
Why not?
It's a team. It's such team oriented. Really at the end of the day, it comes down to turnover margin. As a group on offense, are we protecting the football, and on defense, are we taking it away? And both of those areas, we obviously have any kind of improvement from last year. We'll be in a better spot. That was ridiculous.
So one word that Brock Osweiler used to describe his training camp so far was tremendous. Agree with that?
As him personally, or just like
That's what he said.
He loves the coaching? Is that what you're saying?
Coaching.
I don't know what he's saying. But he's a positive guy. I think Brock does a good job of focusing on what he's trying to do. He has a purpose for every day of practice. And I think this is what I almost forgot about him, is he does go out there with a purpose. And that's next level type things. A lot of times guys just go out and, all right, hey, here's the period. I run the play that the coach calls. And I think he's got a different mindset sometimes. And Ryan's kind of in that area too. He's going out there to work on things, and plays might not go a certain way, but I know there was like 2 or 3 things today that they talked about before they went out there that came up that they were able to work on. And to me, he's saying that because he has a good feel for the offense. I think he likes the guys that he's rolling with, whether it's that second or third group, and he has that confidence allows those other guys to be confident. So when he's throwing the ball, I think those guys are on the same page. I think he's having fun, and he's having a lot of success, especially when we do those move the ball periods. When we did the scrimmage, like you see why he was playing in real games, because he's calm. He doesn't panic when things break down. He has outs if something doesn't go as planned, and he should have a good feeling right now.
So during the preseason, do you give him snaps with the second team and then failed snaps with the second team, or are they going to roll like they're rolling out here today?
I'm not going to do that because I want each guy to get a little bit of a rhythm. We're trying to figure out how we want to do it for this game. We've had a couple between Dow and Bo and myself of a couple discussions of how we want to handle this. We just want to make sure that we give both of these guys legit opportunities to where their work, you want to say on paper, work equal amount of time with each group. And I don't know if that's realistic because every game goes so different. But that our goal is to be like, you have this series, and maybe it's 2 series in a row, and then the next guy comes in, or 1 series. I think it's really going to come down to how many plays per series are we talking about.
Are these games the most important thing for those guys in that battle?
I think so. I think it starts on the practice field, but when we really when we get going and it's live tackling and you can get sacked, and it's just a better measuring stick.
With regard to Thursday's game, how will you instruct your players regarding the national anthem?
I'm not instructing anybody for anything.
How do you expect to use Ryan through those preseason games?
Well, we got to talk to him first before, we do anything. Like I told you, we have a very sketched out plan, but we have nothing set in stone yet. And we haven't gotten there yet with him. We still have a walkthrough this afternoon. We have a walkthrough tomorrow. So, we'll sit down and kind of talk through stuff. I know what he's going to say already. So, he wants to get out there and get going. Because in his mind, these are important. And really that's the mindset. Every quarterback I've ever been around that gets put in these situations, they want to be out there to play. Because they want to get that feel back, of a real game. Because they know when that first game comes, they got to be on. It can't be like we're going to feel our way into the season.
So if you do get a player that deals, what happens then?
Talk to somebody else. I'm coaching football. I'm not dealing with all this.
How's Tony Lippett?
We'll see. We're going to evaluate him, and we'll kind of see what happens. When I saw him on the field, he looked irritated. I don't know exactly what happened, so after this, I'll be able to go in there and kind of find out what's going on.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the interviews. I hope you enjoyed the show. And as always, if you did, please hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, post on Facebook, whatever. Hit the like button, and definitely leave me some comments, questions, concerns, anything you'd like to see or hear in the videos, stuff like that. So definitely let me know. And of course, the most important thing is subscribe. So with that said, I'll see you guys soon, and Phins up.